zoom zip and I wake up. A zoom zip. A zoom zip and I wake up. A zoom zip.
Can you kind of, because this is what puts you at odds with the customers. My mana'o is this, is that the customers have protest. That's why electricity rates are going down, the use. They're over it. Pow. They sent us strong messages. We've got to do something. But I feel that we're always at odds, with HECO. In other words, we're not working as a team, even if your presentation indicated that. But I don't feel that's what's really happening. So what are you, how are you addressing all this?
Okay, three or four things. First of all, if we're looking over the history, it is true that it took us a while to get on board. So if you're going back over time, it absolutely was true that historically the Hawaiian electric companies were not firmly in the camp of switching to renewable energy.
And why is that? Could you kind of educate us? Why is that?
There are lots of historic reasons. One, you had different people running it, frankly. Two, there's safety and security in the old way of doing things. You have 100-year tradition here and everywhere in the United States. Just as I said, the traditional utility model of you make it, you transmit it, you sell it, it's all under your control. And so, that's where utilities historically were. But there's been a substantial transition in Hawaiian Electric. Mm-hmm. In the case of the Big Island, frankly, going to most of those renewables isn't going to change your price because it's avoided cost. So if you transfer it to them, you're paying the same cost. You just pay it to somebody else. Now.
Okay, well, you and I disagree on that, and I don't want to get into a debate here with you because I can see, I'm sure you understand our position when you see the kind of bills that are being introduced.
Absolutely. Because as you saw from the chart, the next thing that happens on the Big Island is not a fight between oil and renewables, it's between renewables.
No, I think that the fight on this chart is between an outdated grid system. Yeah, we definitely need to modernize that system. Outdated technology that, HECO has embraced, and they are reluctant to go beyond those thoughts because of the cost.
But we're not.
So, okay, may I say something?
Yeah.
Okay, so my thoughts are this, which isn't a new thought. I think it was discussed, in the days when Alvin Shem was walking these halls. So that goes way back, 30-something years, as maybe we should look at a consumer-owned grid. I think that the state should be looking into that direction of a consumer-owned grid so that we can start to help balance all of these renewables. The fact is that, the customer is here on the island of Oahu. Just that the energy, the inner island cable is the cost is prohibitive, if we don't get the proper investment and so on and so forth. But I think that the customer now has to be elevated into a position where they become a partner, with the utility, to be able to restore the confidence of this state so we in fact can expand our economy. Have you ever thought of that approach within your deliberations within HECO?
Of a customer-owned grid?
Yes.
No.
And why is that? These ideas have been floating around this building for over 30 years, and you've been part of that process.
Right. We're talking about our units going into a reserve backup mode to renewable energy.
And your units going into reserve backup mode is still going to be burning fossil fuels.
Until we can get LNG or something else over there, yes.
Okay.
But we're not trying to burn it. There's no percentage to us in doing oil. It's not a good product. We don't
yes,
want
I understand that, but in your backup plans, you see, we're still into that mode of retention. Where you got to retain. You're like in the insurance companies. Okay, in case if there's a big disaster, in case of this is why we're jacking up all your insurance premiums. It's not really solving our problem. because we have geothermal energy, which I consider to be that of a firm power, you know, which we've already passed the bill. And unfortunately, it's being under scrutiny this session, which I don't understand why, you know, so, you know, where I'm, in other words, how committed are you? You see, I'm not convinced that you folks are really committed into making this happen for the state of Hawaii, unless we're providing you, you know, in other words, we've been pushing you the whole time politically to make it happen. So my thoughts are maybe we need to push you some more, you know, in looking at a consumer-owned grid so that we, in fact, can bring this technology online much quicker, where the consumer will actually be the recipients of the profits, as opposed to your, you know, your executive salaries or whatever else you're doing, which is, you know, I don't want to get involved with that. I think that's going way beyond my questions. But, you know, I think that this is something that I think that we really should be considering. And if that's even out of your paradigm, in terms of out of your box, then I don't see how you're going to solve your problems, because as far as I'm concerned, you're on the verge of bankruptcy if you really look at your models here.
Senator, if you do examine that, we will cooperate fully in that examination.
You know, I'm just trying to figure out a way of how we can, you know, keep us moving, you know, keep us going. I don't know. Those are my thoughts, Madam Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you.